Hello everyone, this is Danielle from Cageless Readings. So today's pick a card reading, I left it pretty open, pretty vague, and I just asked what does each pile need to know right now, what's coming their way, what's going on with them, and then I pulled some cards for you all. So we're gonna discover together what the messages are centered around. So for pile one, we have this card here. It says, Jewels in the Crown of Spirit. And the card underneath says, See the Solutions. Pile two is Purpose and Meaning. And the card underneath says, Meditate. Pile three is Kindness. And the card underneath is Cloak Yourself in Light. Pile four is My Heart Brims with Affection. And the pile underneath is Laugh. So please remember to take a few deep breaths, get yourself grounded and more aligned with your intuition, and then choose your piles. I'll see you all in your card readings. Hello, pile one. You all chose the Jewels in the Crown of Spirit card and the See the Solution one underneath. So let's just put these down and I'll try and see what messages your guides have for you right now. So we have, you are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. There is not your practice life, decide. Sorry, for some reason I keep saying all the words wrong. So for some reason I'm not reading things right. This is not your practice life, decide. Your chakras. Ooh, I even wonder if that has a little message there about not hearing and seeing things clearly, as all of a sudden I'm misreading words, not seeing things properly, and saying the wrong thing. And also there's so many things here around seeing. Third eye chakra. So I usually get cards that are where your chakras are blocked. So your chakras in third eye. And then we have candle. We have carrot, grapes, and grasshopper. Okay, let's see. What is the theme here other than the one that we first see about seeing solutions, third eye chakra block, not your practice life, focusing on different perspective. Okay, so the first thing that's catching my eye right away is something around you being in a place of having to make two decisions. Choose between two options, two futures, two possibilities. Yeah, and they're very different paths. That's what I'm getting. So I like how the See the Solution card, it just, all these arrows are pointing directly at you. Like you are the solution. You can create the solution for yourself. And I feel like if you've been having a hard time, especially with all this like third eye block and ear chakra blockages, in knowing how to make the right choice, which path will be the best for you, which path you're ready for, which way you should go with it. And everything here is saying, it's all about you. You know what's best for you. You see what the right choice is for you. And it's interesting because a lot of it's talking about this new venture, or these two choices. One choice being something new and something that gets you excited is almost the words I want to use. Like something that gets you like that you're more passionate about, that you're a little more called to trying out. But then there's a few other things going on here. Let's see, like, yeah, you know what? It's tricky. I'm trying to put my thumb on it exactly. I'm like, what is the real block? Why aren't you making the decision that I feel like you intuitively already know you want to take? It's so interesting. It's like one of those things where, as the outsider, you're like, this other option is offering everything you've been asking for, everything you've ever wanted, but it's new, it's something you haven't done before, and it can be a little daunting or scary to take like that leap of faith and trust that you have all the skills you need to do it and be successful at it. And then I see like this old thing, like that's how I often see this. And it's funny because in the last card reading I just did, I had a pile with very similar energies, not sure which path to take, which path to go for, but feeling like their old life just wasn't fitting them anymore. And I feel like this is very similar energy. I almost wonder if this is the exact same person that's watching this reading is the person that they were like channeling message for in that last card reading I did. I don't remember which pile it was, but it was for animal spirit guides, and it was a bear spirit energy. So it's funny, if you watched that card reading, you feel like you're gonna get the exact same message here, but a little differently, worded a little differently. So the first thing that they really want to talk about was, yeah, definitely just like the fact that you might be asking others' opinions about what they think would be the best choice for you, the pros and cons. You might not even be asking people directly. You might just be doing a lot of research online about like what is the best option, what is like I don't want to say safest bet. They're almost like the most secure way to do this, because I feel like there's a part of you that's like, well, maybe you can do both, but for whatever reason, whatever circumstance you're in, it would be very hard to do both, and you're kind of in a place where you need to do one or the other. So I don't know what your situation is exactly. It could be physically moving. Like it could be a job that requires you to move states, provinces, countries, totally different fields. One would take too much time to do both. There's something there where it's saying like, for whatever reason, you found yourself in a place where it really feels like one or the other, and you can't make two, like you can't just go for like the compromise choice where you do both. Yeah, and sorry, the example they're showing me makes me think it's more career based, but for some of you, it could even be like a choice of parenthood. Maybe you're debating if you want to have a child or not. That would make sense about why you can't have it both ways. You either go for it or you don't. Yeah, sorry, that just seemed like a funny thing to say. Like, you can't only be half a parent, you either are or you aren't. So there's like a situation like that you're finding yourself in. And it's funny, as I asked, like, well, what's the solution? And this card here, this is not your practice life. It's time to decide what is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart. And this is really such a great answer. I know it's like the answer that our logical brains hate. So if you're someone who has always thought about, I need to know the facts, I need to know the logical reason why one choice is better than the other, that doesn't exist in this situation. It really, like, if it's a job, for example, both jobs are good. Both jobs are great. Both jobs have so many pros and some of them have cons, but it's like your heart knows what it actually would love to do. Does it want to stay in the old? And does the old still serve it? And does it still feel excited and right about doing the old thing? Or does it want this new path, this new one where something is exciting and different and sorry, I don't know, sometimes it goes out of focus, and it's exciting and it's different and it's new, and it might not be secure, it might not be for the long term, but you've always wanted to experience that, and that's your dream. Like, you've got to think about that. It's saying stop thinking with your head, stop looking outside of yourself for what other people define as the right answer or what they think is best for you, and just go with them. So if you have a meditation practice, this is when it's perfect to do a meditation practice where you go in and you ask yourself a question. You drop your energy. So if you're going to do a meditation, you like close your eyes, you ground yourself, take a few deep breaths, and then you're going to visualize your energy going from your head down into your heart, and picture just like a light ball of energy in your heart center, and ask it what it wants. Just ask it the question, the one that you're trying to decide. So between these two paths, and it will give you the real answer. It won't give you fear. That's what will come from the logical mind. Or the inner child might come with the fear and give you a response that it's worried about. But the heart doesn't know fear like that. It just knows what it wants. So the advice here is not for me to tell you what is the best decision, which path will be the right one for you. It's really just saying, this is your life. You're not in a practice role. You're not in a movie. You're not an actor. This is your life. So what do you, at the end of the day, want your life to be? What do you want to identify as? What do you want your job to be? What do you want to say you do for a living? What do you, like, if it's the parent thing, do you want to be a parent? Do you want to have that experience, or do you not want to have that experience? There's no right or wrong answer. There's just what you want for yourself in your heart. And that's the question to ask yourself. And then let's just look at some of these blocks here though. So this ear chakra one, it says, notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. It's so interesting. So they showed me that, like, maybe you're listening to like a song in your car as you're driving home or something like that. Maybe you're on the bus and a song comes on, and I feel like you'll get like an inspiration on which choice is right. You'll start to really feel that decision and you'll feel good about it. But then you start to have doubts. So I almost see like, I actually start to see other people's opinions like kind of like making you more confused on what's the right choice for you. But I think it's because you have like asked others. They just keep showing like you kind of like asked people for what they thought was the best decision. And now that, even though you might not be asking them, they're volunteering their opinions about it for you. And it's kind of like this weird place to be, because if you start to feel like you've decided on something, you talk to someone else and they convince you of something different. And I think it can kind of just go all back and forth a lot. So this message here is just really talking about, one, I would say clear your ear chakras. Do that more regularly, because like everything we've ever heard kind of stays in that chakra, and if you don't ever clear them out, they can get really full, they can get really heavy, there can be like a lot of things stuck to them. Think of all the words ever said to you. So they usually say to like clear your ear chakras like once a month, just to like stay more hygienic energetically. But I think for you, whenever you're like, if you're in a situation where there's a lot of emotional charge or stress or fear, because there is saying there's some fear here about making the wrong choice, some fear here about the unknown, that's a little intimidating for you. And it's funny because I feel like I can sense this draw for this pile and the unknown, this new identity. It keeps saying this new identity excites you, but then there's also like this heaviness and this fear, like well, where do you go? Like, this is such a big decision. So the ear chakras would be good because it also clears out the thoughts you've said about yourself. So if you're really hard on yourself, it's also very important to clear your chakras, your ear chakras, sorry, more regularly, just to get rid of that heaviness in your energy and on yourself. And then this third eye chakra, it says, it is safe for you to see the energy of love in all its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. So it's interesting. They talk about it in both these cards about understanding that you could be guided by the angelic realm. And there's another thing I saw. Sorry, I was just trying to look for it. Where, oh, here we go. Candle, you will be shown the way. So it's interesting because I get the impression that your guides are trying to lead you towards this decision that comes from the heart, like what your heart wants, and they're giving you little like signs and in very much angel way. So it could be numbers, like when you feel good and you're gonna like go in the direction you want to go, you start seeing like 22s, 11s, 1 2 3 4, 2 2 2, 1 1 1, 3 3 3, you name it. You just start seeing all those numbers that are repeating, or those like really fun number forms like 2 3 4 5 6 7, and it's like that's the time, like it's 6 sorry, that was a bad example. I was gonna say 672, which doesn't exist in time. I'm losing track of thought here. Yeah, anyways, I think you get what I mean. So it's like saying you will be guided if you're going to go on this new venture, which it is totally up to you, right? This new path, to decide for yourself what that answer is. From the card reader looking in, it looks like at this time in point in your life, what you want is this new venture. Like I just see this as this is what comes from the heart center place, but you know, you have to decide that. You have to go within and ask yourself. That's like the number one advice from this for this pile. At the end of the day, it's just like ask your heart what it wants, and then you'll stop going back and forth, because you can understand that things can require courage and bravery and uncertainty, and those things are often what we remember. Getting uncomfortable is usually the thing that makes our life the most exciting thing to live for. We don't ever really talk about times that were just easy and routine and simple. We usually like to talk about the times where something different happened, something we weren't expecting or anticipating happened. You know, I hope that makes sense. So I guess just to end that, the whole thing I'm trying to say is, in my life, I find that when I felt the most alive is when I feel a little uncomfortable and I persevere despite it. I go through with it and I come out the other side. It doesn't matter how I come out. I'm usually just grateful that I took the chance and that I had the experience. Because what if is just a question I never want to have to ask myself. So I think this is where you're really struggling is what if you regret it? What if you miss out? What if? Well, honestly, if you take the chance, then you'll never wonder what if. Because if you're asking what if, then it probably means where you are right now isn't meeting all of your needs. It isn't leading you to the level of joy that you're wanting to be living in. There's something missing if you're asking, what if I took this path? What if I tried this new thing? What if? So yeah, just my thoughts on that. Okay, so we'll be shown the way. I was talking about that and how I really believe your angels are guiding you along this journey. I feel like these cards all belong together. They're running away from me. What's going on there? Might be a little bit of what you're doing is you're running away from your angel's guidance. I think there's just some like intimidation. Like I really feel like there's like this fear and this nervousness. And like I said, there's this logic brain coming in a lot saying like, what is the best choice? I don't know what the best choice is. So that's what is happening over there. This here says situation in the balance that requires careful handling, an opportunity or windfall, time to go and have fun. I actually even like the way this came out. So when I saw these two cards, I saw them as it's all about your perspective. Like if there's some fear there, then you get a card like this and you start freaking out. But if there's just excitement there and you're excited for a new opportunity, then all you see is like time to go and have fun. Like, yes, this is the right decision. So it just tells me like this teetering that you're going through with this, like, I want to be excited about this new thing, but I'm also scared it might be a windfall. Like the situation might go the wrong way. But it's so interesting because overall I just think that this pile wants to just say it's time to go and have fun, and like, let's go for this new opportunity. Like I keep saying, this is all, like, all the purple is just saying like that's what you're guided to do. You're guided, you're feeling led to take this new opportunity, this new thing, this new identity could even be for some of you. But then the fear is kind of like keeping you over here where you're like I keep saying, it's like that what if, I'm not sure what to do, I don't know, this might not be a great opportunity, it might not work out. But I just feel like that's fear. Where how I actually see it is that it is just really a great opportunity for you. So it says, you are the image maker. What you focus on manifests. And that really is like a great way to say it. Like, if you decide that it could just be all bad and it's too good to be true, then there's the windfall. There is like that situation that, like, your fear is saying is not going to work out. It's, like, it just won't. And then I see if you're like, no, like, you are the image maker, what you focus on manifests, and you're like, yes, this is great, I'm ready to go and have fun, I'm gonna own this, this is my life, I'm deciding to live it, I'm following my guides, they are amazing, then that's what it's gonna be. You decide the storyline for where this goes. You get to decide it. So if you even take this opportunity the whole time, like if one little thing doesn't go perfect, like say you move, you get a new job, and you get on a train to go somewhere and someone spills a coffee on you, and you could look at it as, oh man, this is an omen, like this is gonna work out, everything, I made a bad choice, this is like bad. Or you can look at it as, oh man, I just got an opportunity to talk to someone, and have a conversation with them because this like weird accident happened, but now it's gonna connect us so that it can lead me somewhere else. This weird coffee spill could be somehow how I meet my future best friend, because maybe it's not the person who spilled the coffee, but they know someone else who can help you like out in a situation that you get talking about. It's like those weird things, like those things that don't make sense. But if you decide it's just a bad omen and you shut down and you're like, nope, this is the whole bad sign, then that conversation could never happen. They might not be someone who leads you to just a friend or a new apartment that you were needing to find if you were moving, or, I think you all are getting it, hopefully. So I actually just want to read what's on the back of this card here. So it says, each of us is unique, valuable, worthy, and irreplaceable. Each of us is kind, wise, knowing, and gifted. Each of us is filled with dignity, gifted with humor, and funded with strength. So I think this is a great message for this pile, and just remembering how strong you are, how capable you are, if you want to go on this new path, if you want this new thing, whether it's new job, new identity, that you've got the strength for it, you've got the wisdom, and you can do it. But If you don't want to take it, that's okay. You don't have to. You know what's best for you. The answer lies within yourself, within your heart, not the mind. So see the solution is really just see what's inside your heart and follow that, because you have great, great guides working with you and trying to help you with this decision, help lead you to the path that makes your heart sing. And the fear will fall away. I know people always say that, but when you connect with your heart and you know what you really want, then the fear, it doesn't have as much control over us. It tends to ease up. So just trust. It says you will be shown the way. Notice the messages that appear in sound, music, and words. That is your divine guidance, helping you along your path. So I'll just leave this reading here with what is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart? Hello, pile 2. You chose this purpose and meaning deck, or sorry, pile, I should say. Okay, so let's see what messages Spirit has for you. So we have meditation. We have there is strength in doing nothing. Wait. You are the joy seeker. Fairies. Singing and dancing. We have cup. You should accept valid criticism. Lily, spiritual love. Pineapple, reconciliation. And February. Kind of feel like I want to put those like this. Hi, Steve. Hi, bunny. Okay, so purpose and meaning. So what I'm getting here is for this pile, if you've chosen this, I think you've been a bit in a standstill. You've been feeling a little stuck, a little lost, and I really do get like the questions I get when I see this purpose and meaning and meditate card is just like the why. Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? I don't feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Like you feel like you're called to be doing such like higher work or more in life, and it could be on a spiritual level, it could just be on relationship level, it could be on every level, to be honest. I just feel like you're just like, why am I here? I have a bigger calling. But I feel like for the majority of this pile, it feels like related to this spiritual, and I really feel like you want to like be like a spiritual teacher or a healer. You really want to contribute and help others in their hardships more, but you're not sure how to do that. I think a lot of you are maybe still closer to the start of your journeys. Some might be a little like you're not like beginner level, but you're just starting the next level and you have some skills now. You just don't really know where to go with it or what to do or what you're being called to do. Sorry, my cat just really wants attention right now. He just keeps walking back and forth. Hey, hey, Steve. Come here. Come here, Steve. Well, I guess his butt just is perfectly on all the cards. Hey? It's too bad you can never see how cute their faces are because they don't seem to show you their face. They always seem to show the butt or the foot. Yeah. Yes. Okay, well, what was I saying? So I guess I just really want to mention to this pile that when I saw this February card here, um, I saw, so I know if you're watching this as this video releases, February seems far away, but some people might be watching this and it's later in the year. But I get that like February is what they're saying is when things really start moving for you. You really start to feel like these blocks or these like slow times start to shift. So I'm trying to really get the energy. It's just really like this, when am I gonna like have clients? When am I going to help people? When am I going to have, it could be even like a job in an energy or spiritual field. When am I going to be living like this higher purpose that I know I'm here for, but I don't know what it is? And that's when I'm getting, they're saying right now, February, do know that things always do shift a little bit, and maybe it will be sooner, maybe it will be later, but I just see like February, by February, things are really changing. Like I actually see this as like all of a sudden you're gonna go from feeling like things are moving slowly to feeling like you're on a fast track. Everything's getting cleared. Everything's gonna be aligned. But since we're not there right now, let's talk about the energy right now. So I think they're mentioning this because they don't want you to lose faith or hope that you are meant to lead this path like you feel you are. You're not wrong. It is there for you. It just is going to take some months to get there. And if you really think about it, that's not that long in the long run of your life, a few months. So interesting. When I was seeing these cards, I was trying to figure out where should it says accept valid criticism and reconciliation, spiritual love. I think I get this with like if you're say you're in a student role still in some of the energy work or spiritual work that you're doing. How I see this is just really talking about being open to people trying to give you advice, but from people who are experienced, or it could even be like practice clients or clients you might have had. If they're saying like I would have liked this or I would have liked that, then to take that feedback. There's like a little thing here where someone might have had someone leave like a bad review almost, or it felt like really painful, but this is saying um like it's saying valid criticism. So like if someone was just wanting like this expectation met, and it isn't like really like valid in what you're doing, if it doesn't have anything to do with what you're offering, then that is just something to release and let go and not take on. But they're saying like if there's like a suggestion, or in this case it would feel like a criticism on something they would like more of, don't take it as them saying you're not good enough at it, that you failed. They're really just helping you understand what some of your future clients or people are going to want. So I get, it's so interesting. It's like saying don't believe everything, because there's some people who are just, you need to set boundaries with, but there are some people who at this phase in your journey are actually coming with criticisms, um, so that you can get more trained or good at addressing certain problems that a lot of your clients are going to have. Like this might be a repeating theme that people need this. So if they're like, I need a lot of analogies because I didn't get enough analogies, they didn't understand something, then it's really important to take that and be like, okay, I have these more analogies because this resonates with the clients that I get. Or certain ways of communicating messages. They might say they would prefer a different way, other than analogies, and they're just saying like to listen to that because you will probably attract in similar clients in the future who will need that way of communication, or I don't feel like actually like it's a healing thing. I feel like it's a communication thing for this pile. I don't know for sure, but yeah, that's just the impressions that I'm getting, because I think you are quite gifted and good at what you're doing. It's just communication. Honestly, I also find it like the hardest thing ever, because you're tuning in on a level where you feel and know things, and then somehow you have to simplify it um, to a level that you can verbalize it, and it just always feels like it doesn't communicate the full truth or the whole knowing by just saying some words. So that takes practice for sure. And I think it's like a lifelong practice to get better at that, in my opinion, unless you're just naturally gifted as a communicator, because that's just amazing. Great life skill in these days and times. I'm still holding on to the hope that we'll all communicate telepathically in the future. But until then, I have to keep working on my communication skills. Maybe you have the same lesson as me with that one. Okay, so I do want to talk a little bit about why there's all this meditation going on. I think it's coming up as, okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's coming up as a suggestion while you feel lost and like things aren't like really going as fast as you would like. And you kind of would just like to know, like it said, is this your purpose and meaning? What is your purpose and meaning exactly in the spiritual world? Because some people watching this pile actually don't know. They're like, I like it, but I don't know what my gifting is. I don't know where I'm going to take anything. I don't know who I'm going to be, what I'm going to teach, what I'm going to do. So I just would like some answers. And the solution is, in the meantime, while you're waiting for things to just click and move on, don't see this as unproductive time. I just want to add that in quick, because some of you are like, I feel like I'm wasting time, like there's things I could be doing, but you are also here just to like live life. And I think that, I feel like that came up somewhere in here, is it's also important to just live and experience life and connection. That is so important. But while you are killing time, as you might say, you could go into meditation more. Do daily meditations. If you are, I get for this some reason for this pile, you feel like you have too much time on your hands. So if you really are one of those people that feel like you have too much time, then do a morning meditation and an evening meditation. You're gonna do two if this is you, who are like, I have so much time and I don't know what I should be doing with it. Because it's gonna start your day off focused and connecting with the spiritual, which, like, I mean, this card here literally says spiritual love. Like, you love it. This is your life. This is what you want to be doing. You want to know your purpose already in it. So that's a great place to start. You'll get to get even better at your, what's the word I'm looking for? Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. You develop all of those things when you're doing meditation. So that's definitely a good thing to do to strengthen all of those muscles, all of those abilities. That is not wasting time in any way, getting better at those things. Because, say, for example, you get into card reading, you're already going to have a really great clairvoyance and channel to your guides, to your higher self, to the divine, whoever you want to connect to in the future. Maybe it's Pleiadians, maybe it's Andromedans, maybe it's Egyptians, maybe it's Jesus, whoever they are. You're going to have a very, very easy time connecting to them, because you have basically gotten into a meditative state for, like, if you're watching this when this video comes out, from now until February, that is a long time. Like, you're gonna be a pro by then, trust me. Huge difference, especially if you're meditating twice a day. And I do think the goal is to do at least 10-minute meditations. There's a guide here saying, no, 20 is better, because it takes them a while to get there. So if they do 10 minutes, by the time they actually get into meditation, they'll need 20. So if that resonates with you, it might be your guide saying that. But I always like to keep the bar kind of low for those who are busy but feel like they're not living true to who they want to be. So for those people, just do 10 minutes every day and you'll be amazed at the difference it makes, morning or evening. But if you're the one who is like, I have too much time, twice a day, 20 minutes each time. 20 minutes in the morning when you wake up, 20 minutes at night. And if you can do longer, that's amazing. Honestly, what I've come to realize is that when I feel unproductive, the most productivity I can attain is by doing a meditation. So I could do an hour meditation and I will get more done that day than if I did none at all. So it really just cuts out all that procrastination. It cuts out all the questioning. It really realigns you. And I think that's another reason why it's coming forward, is that when we meditate, it realigns us with our heart center, our soul knowledge, understanding what our goal is, what we really want, why we are here. And then we won't feel so like purposeless is almost the word I want to use. That's like something we fall into a lot, is feeling purposeless, and especially if you're feeling like you're searching for your purpose in life and meaning. If you do something, if you're not connecting with people each day, then I feel like truly connecting, I should say that, like having an experience with someone where you're connecting and they see you and you see them, then you're probably going to feel like you're wasting that day. So do a meditation is definitely the first thing. The other thing I would say is, like connecting with someone else, another person, having a heart connection will make you feel seen, and what's the word I'm looking for? Like you have also seen them. You've mutually done each other a service. And the other thing, like the singing and dancing, express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. This is great because I see this is basically how your guides always sneak in. Like, we want you to refocus and center on having fun and being goofy. So I have to say this. You see in this card, they're not looking like they're doing a dance that's super structured and serious. This dance is lighthearted, goofy, and wild. So some people will go and take a dance class and be all worried about doing the moves right and looking good and fitting in. This isn't that. This is like going and dancing around and being silly, not serious. That's the whole goal here. So if you're, maybe some of you are doing dance classes and you're really serious about it and hard on yourself, then are saying change your attitude about it, because it's supposed to look like this. Ridiculous. It's supposed to look kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so I'm gonna focus on it. The battles of the cameras. Okay, come on. Maybe. All right, well, anyways, there you go. You can see it. She looks kind of silly. Super silly. She's got her leg back and she's doing weird things with her arms. Doesn't look like some nice waltz or beautiful salsa. Okay. So, yeah, when I see that, it's just clever strategies of your guides to be like, hey, let's try to change that seriousness. You're taking life too seriously. You're being too serious. You're putting too much pressure on yourself and like having to be something. You're forgetting about the experience of the human, which is just living and laughing and loving and those kind of things. Eating good food, having good company and good connection. It's so funny. They're like, sexual intimacy. Someone needs to hear that. That's definitely something they were like, say it. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to say that's awkward, but that's something for someone out there. So the fairies, you have a strong bond with the fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Nature. So that is super great. Actually, there is a lot of nature in this now that it points it out. Flowers, green, fruits, flowers. Yeah. So this also is giving another suggestion on how you can feel. I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, so another thing you can do right now if you're looking for some connection and to feel more guided by spirits, I think that'll just really help this pile too, right? Like, I feel like if you're feeling like you have a big spiritual calling and you don't know what it is, and you want it to be something and you just want to know it already and be doing it already, then obviously meditation and connecting with any kind of guides, fairies, the universe, your higher self is basically getting you involved with that energy that you want to be involved with so badly. So when I see this fairies card, I'm like, if you have the opportunity to go outside, if it's gardening, if it's forest walks, if it's walking through meadows or valleys where there's lakes and wildflowers, then do so, because from what I'm seeing here is that also helps you feel better and more elevated and more uh, what's the word, grounded, but also in connection with Mother Earth, and the fairies are usually out there too. So you might feel lighter and happier and you're not even sure why, and it's probably because these little fairy spirits have been walking with you on those trails. So I just want to look at this a little bit more. Spiritual love, reconciliation, February. So there's something here with this about like forgiving something, because these two cards do feel quite separate. This valid criticism and reconciliation. And I almost wonder if there's like a need to forgive yourself. Ooh, sorry, for not being there already. Because I get that this is like a lot of just like you being hard on yourself. Like I was saying, like maybe you had someone make a offhanded comment once and it hurt you and you took it very personally. And I actually feel like the forgiveness that is needed is you to forgive yourself. Like whatever you thought you should already been able to do or be good at or capable of was unrealistic. Like you are in the learning curve still. Like I just see that. Like you're still learning, you're still growing. And if you feel like you are in the middle of your journey, then I hate to say it, you're still very much at the beginning. Like you are going to be so much further along than where you are right now, that when you look back in the future, you're going to be like, oh, I was so young. Like I was so young and I had no idea, because you didn't know like how much further you were going to go, how much more wisdom and knowledge and experience you were going to gain. And that's just the beauty of the journey, right? Is like growing into it. And I also haven't even mentioned this card, so I just looked at that. It says you are the joy seeker. Like I actually was thinking about your future energy, and I was caught my eye, sorry, blah, my words are all weird now. My eye caught this card when I was thinking about the future you, and I feel like this is you, like just happy, radiant, like such a wise person in this spiritual field, wherever you end up. This card reading is definitely sure it's not talking about the specific of the task that you're doing, because they keep saying that has yet to be revealed. What does matter is you just growing those clairvoyances, the clairaudience, the clairsentience, the voyance, and I'm blanking on the last one for some reason now. That is what's important. You establishing that trust and that bond with your guides, your higher self. That's really where you are going to grow right now. But the future, like this is really like these two cards have come in just to remind you to keep your hope there. Like things will get easier, things will just breeze past, and all of a sudden you're gonna know. And like I said, when you know, you're gonna be ready and you're gonna go. But you're gonna be ready to go because you are meditating, you are connecting, you are being gentle with yourself for not just being there already, and you know you have a meaning and a purpose that you want to experience and fulfill, and that is going to come in. There's just like this impatience that all us humans seem to experience when we really want something. But you're basically the student right now. You need to gain the skills so that you can have this really come in and find yourself on that path. So what little victories can you celebrate? That's like the calling from your guides right now. What to focus on? What victories can you celebrate? What have you done good? Say if you do 2 meditations a day for 2 weeks, and then there's a day where you're just too busy and you can't, it's saying celebrate that. Be like, wow, I did 2 times a day for 2 weeks. That's amazing. My guidance is clear. I feel like centered, aligned, connected, like I want to be. I want to be working with this energy all the time, and I'm getting to through my meditation. That's amazing. So instead of maybe going the opposite way and being like, I can't believe I missed a meditation, like, it's almost like how people never end up going back to the gym is you miss a few days and you keep getting hard on yourself about you've missed a few days and how you're, like, it's just like we go down that vortex of negativity, then we never end up doing it because we keep associating it with a bad feeling. Instead, it's saying to celebrate it, see the positive, keep doing good because you are doing good, you are learning. Okay, so I just want to read the back of this card here. It says, where I experience doubt and dismay, I welcome resurgence of faith and conviction. I allow my life to be title. I'm not sure what that means. I allow my life to fill and empty according to a plan higher than I might naturally perceive. Okay, so that line's definitely important. The last one here, and I'll re-say it because I know sometimes people zone out when you read a long thing like this, and it says, I allow my life to fill and empty according to a plan higher than I might naturally perceive. So this is really talking about the impatience, the just wanting it now energy, and them saying, understand and trust that this is all happening in the right order. For this pile, I really believe it's because you are going to develop this very powerful and very strong connection with your guides, with your higher self through a meditational practice, which will then make you perfectly ready for whatever it is that you are called to do. And it doesn't matter if you don't know it right now, developing the skills and the connection. They're really saying that trust and that connection is what you need to have so that you can move forward. Because say if it's energy healing, you need to have a relationship with your guides for that. Or if it's card reading, it sure helps if you have a connection with guides and you can hear them easier so that you can read the cards easier for others. And that is where I see you going. And then they're just reminding you to have some fun while you're doing it and not be so serious. Literally try to look as silly and funny and ridiculous as possible. If you're like out in nature, go dancing around when no one else is around because they feel like you might care about that, or sing and trust that no one's going to hear you, or if they do, then you can laugh about it because it's kind of embarrassing, but it's so funny that they kind of walked in on that, and think about how funny it will be for them to experience that, like not taking things seriously. Okay, I think this is actually all I have for this pile. I wish you the best of luck. You are gonna get there. Don't get in your head about it. Like, you are gonna be there. I just see this future you, which is happy and just radiating wisdom and knowledge and grace and love. And I just see future you as this incredibly powerful, I get spiritual healer. So let's just know that, trust that, and know that now you just need to be the student and get the skills and the connection and that close understanding with your guides to get there. Hello, pile 3. You all chose this kindness card and the cloak yourself in light card underneath. So I'm just gonna put these all down here. We have forgiveness will set you free, and the universe rewards motion. Parents, heart chakra, and we have a rainbow, flowers, scale, eye, and we also have cracked cup. Okay, so let's see what's going on for this pile right now. So the first thing that catches my eye is this universe rewards motion. What guided action can you take? I saw something else that just made me think, oh, this is totally what it's talking about, but I can't see it now. But what I want to talk about with this is how I was recently listening to, I think it was a podcast with Lee Harris in it. And they were talking about how a lot of people think it's big action we have to take to shift our lives. And he was pointing out that it's the small day-to-day actions that we take that actually shift things. Taking one big move is great, but consistently starting like a new healthier routine or a new routine that's aligned with you is actually what really will make a big shift, because it's like setting into motion that this is your new norm. This is what you're going to do now. So the question here for you is, what guided action can you take today? So that is, I think, truly a question to ask yourself. If you're feeling, or it says you have felt dissatisfied with your life or where you are, then this is a great thing to ask yourself. What is one thing that you can do to create a new energy in your day? And I'm going to say energy because I think maybe you wake up and you just feel tired or unmotivated. Or for this pile, I actually think that you can feel just really closed off to the world, to experiencing I think connection with people, but also just some other events. I'm trying to think of an example here. I think you're just closed off. So I think it would also look like procrastination to some, but I think it's like with the heart chakra card coming up, I just see like that you can be a little closed off or guarded to other people. And then the answer to why that's happening is in, it says here, parents or childhood. So it says the divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you heal from any pain associated with your mother or father. So it seems to me like there's some childhood injury that you obtained, and this has left your heart feeling a little more guarded and a little more protected. So when I saw this cloak yourself in light card with these two cards here, the parent and the heart chakra, I couldn't help but think that their advice to you on how to shift how you're protecting your heart energy is, instead of maybe building like an armor around it or a barrier, instead literally shield yourself in light. So if you've heard of energy shielding, that's really all it is. You can do a bubble, you can do a pillar. So I think pillar would actually be good for this pile, but you always just have to do whatever you feel called to. And what I see is they're saying to do like a rainbow shield. So picture all the colors in this pillar of light that comes down from the stars all the way to Mother Earth. It touches the ground and you're in the middle of that pillar, and it stays with you and it keeps you safe from anything that isn't in your highest good, in love, in light. And so when I see rainbow, I actually see it more as when, say, a crystal catches a light and there's all the little rainbows that come off of it. So it's like, I see it as white light with sparkles of all the colors. You might actually just want to do a rainbow, because I just see a couple of rainbows here. So if that's what you feel called to do, then do that. But I do see that as advice on, just as I was saying, how to come out of this like armored heart energy and into more of a open to still connecting and having those loving connections and those positive supportive connections, but keeping, like, it's so funny. This card is actually perfect for it. Like, there's literally, like, I see, like, as the no, the circle with the X through it. No, you're not letting any of the lower stuff get to you. It's only love coming in. So this is a great image on this card, because I feel like that's going to help heal the heart for you, and allow it to feel safer. I am going to actually just read this kindness card. So it says, my heart is a deep lake of loving kindness. I count myself fortunate to hold tenderness within my soul. I forgive myself, my fears, frailties, and failures. I'm compassionate towards myself in times of turbulence and change. So I was suspicious that this card would be more of an energy of self-love and gentleness with yourself, and it does seem to be talking a lot about that, because as soon as I saw cloak yourself in light and kindness, I had no impression at all that this pile was in any way unkind. And I feel like the person that you are the meanest or the hardest to is yourself. So there's a little message there. I'm sure some of you are like, people say this all the time. Well, your angels and your guides are also saying it, that you're just very hard on yourself, and they would love to see you be more kind with yourself and more gentle, because like it was talking about, you're in changing times, turbulent times. That's when it's so important to stay kind to yourself. Think about it as, would you really be mean to a child who was afraid, or like was in a situation that was new, so they're feeling nervous? You wouldn't like start yelling at them and calling them dumb for being afraid or uncomfortable or uncertain about what to do. And this really just always calls on you to treat yourself how you would treat that child. So let's look at some of this here. It says, Rainbow, the most difficult part of the situation is over and happiness is coming in. So we have flowers for that. And then some advice we have, keep your life in balance, your psychic ability, trust your intuition, and this one said dissatisfaction with life. So I feel like these in themselves tell a really beautiful story, in the sense that you might go through feeling, I see when it says dissatisfied with life, I feel like you feel disconnected from life, and that you've been trying to work on it. I definitely think you have been. You want a more beautiful life. You want a more exciting life. And I think that might even be why you're finding this card reading, is I believe this pile has been doing a lot of inner child work or self-growth, self-help kind of work. All of a sudden you might be finding yourself reading a lot of books about it, listening to a lot of podcasts about it. You definitely want change. And so I think for this card reading, it's really coming in to help encourage you to keep going with it. And that, like, when I see this, the most difficult part of a situation is over, I see it as, for a general reading here, the message being around like this healing, this heart healing that you're working on, that you're addressing, that you're doing. It's funny because like when I ask about it, the guides are just like, it's like the first step is acceptance. And I feel like they're saying that is the hardest step, like accepting that you have to deal with this, or that this was true for you and you're growing through it. So I'm not too sure what the situation was that you had to accept and like see. That's definitely something they're saying. You had to see that it needed to be healed, and that that's the hardest part, and things will get easier from there, because like the happiness card doesn't just come out for no reason, and the rainbow card and all the rainbows you have here just tell me that there is a lot of healing work coming in, a lot of self-healing coming in. And the parent card, where it said your guides are even helping and supporting you and sending you love so that you can work through this. So the universe rewards motion. When I see this card, I kept seeing like it's challenging you to explore yourself and who and what do you want to identify as being in this life. So for some of you, what's the word they're using here? You're really like curious about learning more about where you came from on a soul level. For some of you, it could be like, what star race did you come from? What is your soul family? And I think that will be healing for you to go on that adventure, because there was some wounding with the family that you are in now. And I think for you, you feel like there'll be some understanding about why you chose them and why you're there in part of the family through understanding your origins on a soul level. And then for other ones, they're telling me that a good place for you to start is looking into astrology for some, or just again, just talking about the star seeds for this file. So I don't know why that's so important, but they really do say it's important to explore those avenues if you've been thinking about it. Yeah, they just keep talking. It's going to help you understand where you fit in the world, is like the wording they're giving me. So hopefully that makes sense to this pile. I like how there's trust your psychic ability, trust your intuition. So I think this is also coming up, like if you've been thinking about researching or getting to know more, or reading more books about starseed stuff or astrology stuff, whichever kind of energy you're fitting in with. Or if you've been thinking about paying for a personal reading for reconnecting with your starseed soul family, there's people out there that do that. You can get your astrology charts read. That could also be something you're interested in. And then some of you, they're even like, there could be a bit of a numerology thing going on there. But all of that kind of talks about understanding your like destiny here. So kind of like human design, kind of like Gene Keys, they all do a similar thing with different tactics about explaining your karma, your soul mission, what you came here to learn. And it's incredible that they can figure all that out. But I think this is a path that it would be worth you investing in, because I think you've been thinking about it. But like they say here, trust your intuition and know what's right for you. Decide from there. But there's a lot of heart healing coming up for this pile. Definitely a lot. So I do see, like it says here, a much more beautiful, happy time coming in, a lot more exciting. And then this keep your life in balance. I have to like comment on this, because I think this is when they're talking about how sometimes you can disconnect. So if you're in a phase where you've been aware that this is something you've done, you've like closed your heart off, you've blocked people out that you care about, but it's just because you're overwhelmed, or something is triggered within you that reminds you of something that your parents or in your childhood had happened to you. I really do see them saying like making sure that you keep your cup full is going to be how you make sure you don't shut down and block people out. So cloaking yourself seems very important for this pile. But self-honoring routines seem really important. And what's that? Self-care, that's the word. So if that is that sometimes you just need quiet time where you listen to music and you draw, sketch, sing, you like to maybe paint your toenails. There's like some kind of side to this pile that enjoys that. I don't quite know the right word. It's almost like doing physical actions that make you feel good, beautiful, taken care of, doing those. And I think they're showing me like nails, because I think like that's something you notice. Like you paint your nails, you put in like that you time, and then after you look at them and you remember that you were taking care of yourself, and then like has this residual like makes you feel good energy. They're saying stuff like that is really great. And flowers, I don't know why they're really like the roses themselves are popping out. So maybe you love buying yourself flowers. Maybe you love drying flowers and making cool decorations out of them. I'm not sure, but roses are just like, oh, so like they make you feel so good. So there's a little message for you all to buy yourself flowers if you want flowers or if you love them. The other thing I'm really noticing here, So when I first saw this card too, I was like looking at this, and I think technically it's probably clear quartz, but I kept seeing it as, I'm going to try to say it correctly, apotholite. I think that's what it's called, crystal. It's like a crystal that is formed in the water in coral reefs and stuff, or at least that was my understanding of it. So I just think also like this pile makes me really think of like water energy, of loving to be by the ocean, of being calmed by being near the ocean. Even though in that card, funny enough, it's a desert. It's kind of funny because I was like, no, these people are really watery. So I don't personally believe that means you have to be a Pisces, or I'm trying to think of the other water signs, but I'm blanking on them. I usually find that could just mean that is past life related, that's just your energy related, that you love it. It could be Lumerian, it could be Atlantis energy, it could be mermaid energy. I keep thinking mermaids, so I feel like there's something there with mermaids. So I don't know, that might just be something you needed to hear. And then another funny thing here, so the jaguar in this card symbolizes a need for change and trusting your intuition, which really just, I feel like, goes with this card here that says trust your intuition. So the need for change, I think, is also talking about the dissatisfaction with life and keeping life in balance, is that you know when you start to like want change, like literally need it, because you are feeling disconnected from life, disassociated from life. Shut down would be another word that some people use. And this is just really like coming in as like an extra message about, hey, it's really important for your health, for your love of life, for your enjoyment and happiness, and to find true joy in this life, is to make sure you're not doing the same thing again and again. So if you're shutting down, you're armoring up that heart. If you're, it is talking about forgiveness still. If you're feeling like, what is the word? What do you need to forgive yourself? Maybe that's just the question I should be asking. It says, what do you need to forgive yourself? Because I just feel like you can't keep going on without asking yourself that question, and without asking yourself, what guided action can you take today? Those two things, I think, are actually the main root of this whole card reading, is finding out those answers for yourself is what you need to do to really get on that happiness train and that following your intuition train, because it's like saying here that you know what's best for you and what you need, but I think you're a little intimidated to look at it. Like it's saying when your heart's like blocked and guarded, it thinks it's keeping you safe, but the thing is you actually need to forgive yourself, and you need to take different actions so that you can change your life and feel so different about it. So you've got this, okay? You've got this. You're so strong. You want more. You want different things in your life. I think you just want to feel different. That's like a really big thing. You want to feel different. You want to feel excited and passionate about life. Trying to see if there's any other messages here, but I think they're like this. I think this is more or less it. Yeah, so just to recap here, make sure you are energy shielding. That's their advice. With like rainbow light, whatever that looks like to you. Ask yourself, what do you need to forgive yourself? And ask yourself, what guided action can you take today to shift things? And then the other advice was to look into or to reading books about astrology or start seeds, or consider paying for a private reading for your natal charts or for reconnecting with your soul family. Something around that is being, I don't know, I feel like you've been drawn to one of them. if you can afford it. I think there's definitely a call that will help you. They're really saying explore you. Explore you. However you feel called to do that. Okay. You all have a wonderful day or night, whatever it is for you, and best of luck. I do just see so many great things coming in for you, and just remember to be gentle on yourselves. Just be kind and gentle, because I know you're so kind and gentle with everyone else. Just don't forget about being that for yourself. Hello, pile 4. You all chose this, My Heart Brims with Affection, and the Laugh card. So let's see what else you got here. Okay, so we have express yourself creatively, start something new. Oh, that's so appropriate with the other cards already. And we have number 44. Come together, we need each other. Where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others and the world? And then we have heal away addictions and emotional sensitivity. And then I feel like you got extras of these cards. I think most people only got 4. So we have pale. Time to get out of a situation. We have March. Wishbone, a wish is granted. Mountain Road, you are on the road to success. And we have Arrow, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Wow, there's so many positive tea reading cards. So that's amazing. Spiritual guidance protected from harm. Wow, so this is amazing. So amazing. So many great positive messages. So I just want to make sure I can read some of these because I might want to do that. Okay, let's see. Is everything in view? It looks like it. Okay, so the one card that's stumping me here, pile 4, is this Heal Away Addictions. I'm looking at everything here and it feels good. And when I see Heal Away Addictions, I'm getting a little confused, but asking more about it, I think they're referring to addictions to how you are perceived. And I want you just to take this, if this resonates, something around maybe you really care about a social media platform and how you're viewed on it. Or it could even just be that you find yourself wasting a lot of time on your phone or on a computer watching TV. It has a very electronic feeling, energy to it. So it could just be that you're spending a lot of time on it. And it could also be a way of when you're feeling low or disconnected, or what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? They're saying like procrastination. If you feel a lot of pressure to do something or stressed about getting something done, you might find yourself finding a screen. So it could be TV or a cell phone or a computer to distract you and sort of make you forget that you're stressed and procrastinating. But then you come back to it and you're like, oh no, I'm really behind now and I have even less time to get it done than I originally did. So let's read what it says here. It says, it's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desires. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. So I do think that you are aware that this is something you're doing and you're trying to take some steps towards not doing it anymore. But it does seem like something you're still working on. It still has a bit to go on that. But they do say awareness is the first step, right? So there's always that. And then emotional sensitivity, honor and respect your deep sensitivity as it is a gift to us all. I think this is really just confirming that it is when you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed out or just like there's too many low emotions that you're dealing with, that you tend to I don't want to say suppress, but not address them and then look for the distraction, because that's what a lot of other people do, right? Like if you're feeling upset, most people will just turn on a screen. And I even think now, like when some kids are when some kids are upset, the natural reaction of the parent is to give them an iPad or a cell phone to like keep their emotions down. And I almost feel like that seems like a learned behavior for this pile. Like maybe your parent would sort of just distract you if you were upset and give you something so that you wouldn't think about it, but they didn't really hold space or teach you how to feel your way through it. And I think that's what's coming up here. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they did it with electronics. It could have been in different ways. Maybe they gave you a cookie, or whatever their guides are just showing me is that instead of feeling the emotion, it was very much like, let's just distract you from that emotion. So it seems like a learned behavior. Let's see what else is going on. Express yourself creatively, start something new. What creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? And where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others and the world? So this card here, I feel like it's really touching on sort of finding that joy, that thing that makes you feel better. Like it also seems like a question to ask when you go within. So I see, like when I see that person's eyes closed in the card, it doesn't seem like you're supposed to just think your way through this and figure out, like, say if you're having problems with this procrastination, not to just think like, well, how can I just do this right or do this better. A lot of it's talking about feeling your emotions is really going to be the game changer for this pile. So closing your eyes and then asking yourself. So doing that exercise where you drop your energy into your heart center. So you visualize your energy going from your head into your heart, and then you ask the question. And I want you to do this for anytime you're feeling overwhelmed or uncertain or just stressed out. Ask yourself in that heart-centered energy what you're needing answered. So if you're asking, what do I need right now? What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling it? What do I need right now? That could be a really good question for this pile. What do I need right now? And then there is something of an ask about asking you to ask yourself about what you really want. So that's how I see like unlocking what brings you joy and laughter, and just like look at that smile, like brings you so much happiness, is going within. Like you see this little pyramid at the bottom with a keyhole in it. And I think that keyhole is you realizing that it requires you to go within and ask that heart energy, not the mind. Because I feel like you're like, well, I do ask myself, but you're asking your brain, and then your brain's thinking logically and being like, well, there's this and that, and then, well, maybe how someone else feels. The heart will give you the clear answer. And then the next thing I really want to talk about is just like all this good stuff coming in. So it says, time to get out of the situation. So spilt bucket. I feel like this is talking about whatever it is that keeps getting you into this addictive behavior. So it could even be leaving that, like, I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed. So I'm going to procrastinate or watch TV or play on my phone, or just not address the real issue. I feel like this pile, you know what habit I'm talking about that takes up a lot of your time. You don't think it's like any surprise. It could be a random thing, but the main majority, as this is a general card reading, is that it's going to be technology, because it's the easiest thing that is truly designed to grab our attention and just kill our time, right? Sometimes it's good because you can like research things and find out things, and everything's good in moderation. But I feel like for this pile, it's being used, as it says, like addiction, a thing or a way to not have to deal with what you're supposed to be doing, or get the work done that you need to do, or have a conversation with someone that you need to have. Okay, sorry guys. I'm trying to see what else to ask here. Having a hard time staying on point with this reading for some reason. Okay, so come together, we need each other. Where have you been separating yourself? Okay, so this here is really also a great question to ask yourself. Because I feel like this is actually the root of why you can procrastinate. Like when I see come together, we need each other. Where have you been separating yourself from others or the world? And I see that's where the disconnect comes from. So it's almost like there's something that happens. I don't know in this pile because it is general. If it's like a relationship that you get like a lot of tension with or overwhelmed. So maybe some of you might live with your parents, or your parents are like really involved in your life, and it can be that they start putting a lot of pressure on you, or you feel a lot of like tension in that relationship, and that will cause this. Or it could be in your romantic partnerships that this happens, or it could even be that you just have like a really good friend that you're having like some tensions with or disagreements with, or coworkers. You know, honestly, there's just some kind of relationship happening where there is like a lot of tension and frustration, and there could be multiple ones, which is why you're finding yourself disassociating essentially and getting lost in this other world, because it's just easier and less stressful, and you just feel like that is all gross right now. So how to address this. So what to do about this. The big thing they keep telling me is, yes, that going within and asking your heart what it needs. They're like, this is really going to be the ultimate answer, because right now you still are thinking. So they keep saying it's really important to visualize like energy. Close your eyes, visualize the energy going down from your head into your heart center, and that heart center getting brighter. And then just wait and ask a question, and whatever comes up, take it as the answer. If it's like all of a sudden you get weird body tinges or tingles somewhere, ask what that means. Ask your body, what does that mean? And if, say, all of a sudden your knee starts hurting, then that would be a great confirmation that when you feel unsupported by this relationship, that it gives you knee pain. And then you just keep asking questions from there, like, what do you need? What do you need to feel better? What do I need to to feel more balanced? Like, you name it, you can just ask whatever you feel called to. And I think that's going to help you get more centered and more aligned in yourself, and kind of take back control is the word I want to use. Because right now I feel like you seem very out of control of yourself and out of your emotional states at times. But this is where I want to put it in and say, it says like you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. So if some of you are just like, it's overwhelming, everything seems so bad, this is really coming in and saying, don't think like that. Like, there is so much good going on here. Like, the March card is really interesting. I don't know if it's talking about, like, so if you watch this video as it comes out, March is a decent amount of time away. I mean, honestly, it's under a year, but it's still like we usually like to talk in the next 3 months, and that's much further than that. So it could be talking about like maybe if there's like a job or a tension or a conflict that you're having that's really causing this, that will shift come March. And it's interesting because if this is what it's talking about, I get the impression that it's really part of a lesson here. Like, this situation is really causing you to have to go within and start learning how to take care of your emotional needs. And I think this is coming up as a lesson because, like I was saying, I think in your childhood, I truly, like, they show me like examples of like the parent like not really creating a space where you could feel your emotion. And I don't think your parents were bad parents. I actually think that they thought they were helping you out by distracting you or like getting you to stop feeling that way. So like I said, I would see like two kids fighting or something, and then the parent being like, oh, it's okay, like here, just you play with this now and you're fine. And it's like that was always the energy, and you actually just needed someone to let you like be upset or cry or be angry, and I don't think you were allowed to. So from like a reader looking in on this, if you've been stuck in this situation or this habit again and again in your life, this is coming in to basically teach you how to healthily manage those types of emotions within yourself. Because what we don't learn as a child, we do have to learn as adults. We do learn at some point. So I do believe that's why you keep finding yourself in these situations. Because even think like if you had learned the ability to have the emotion and just like let it go, like be upset or frustrated that you're doing work that's like really boring or whatever the situation is, then you would have space to feel that and like let it go and move on. But I think because you don't know how to hold space for yourself or feel that it's just been building up, and it's just got into this like addictive, avoidant procrastination energy that's really just happened because you lacked that tool on how to express your emotions of not liking something. And I really get that just comes from upbringing. Like they show me again and again, like your mom more specifically, trying to be a good parent, but like I said, not realizing the consequences of teaching your kid not to have emotions. Is that now you have to learn how to handle them now as an adult. And I think, yeah, you've been struggling with this for a bit. So time to get out of this situation, I really see is time to get out of this cycle. So I do want to mention, if for some of you, you're like in a relationship and it's all over the place and you've been looking for an answer about if you should be in it still or not, I think this would be a specific message for you there. But for the rest of you, I do feel like the dominant energy here is just that energy of learning how to express and have and hold space for your own emotions. So here we go. It's specifically negative emotions, I should say, too. Oh, sorry. My one cat is attacking the camera. It's getting a little shaky. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, things moving on now. Okay. Here we go. That was distracting. Okay, so I want to talk about these things here where it says mountain road, you are on the road to success. So if some of you are feeling like, oh man, well, I'm just stuck with this forever. No, you are going to figure it out. It's like, no one likes knowing, like having to do emotional work or like go within and ask themselves what they need, and like it just takes time. And for some reason as humans, we just like really seem to not like to take a moment to like go within and like drop into that heart space and ask, even though it will save us so much time in the long run, so much procrastination, so much like just negative low emotions. It's just so fun, and we all do it, and I don't know why. We just don't like that as the answer. Okay, so here, yeah, it's saying you are on a road to success. You are going to get there. You are protected. You have spiritual guidance coming away, and you're on the right path regarding some aspect of your life, and a wish is granted. So I actually think for some of you where it's like, this is career related and not liking your career or the work you're doing, I see this as like something's going to shift, whether it is maybe you get a promotion and you change what kind of job you're doing, or you get into a totally different business or corporation. That I'm not positive, but they're just saying something's changing and it's going to change the direction that you're going in, and that it's something that you've been wanting. Like I see wishbone, a wish is granted, like it's been heard, it's on its way. It's just like I said, like you have a soul lesson to learn here with this emotion work with this, learning why you're procrastinating and realizing that you need to learn how to express and have emotion, so that it doesn't like overwhelm you and make you disassociate or disconnect. So this good stuff is coming in, and I actually do, the more I talk, the more I really do think that it will be March. They're saying like March is when you kind of figure this out and you get to a place where you've learned this soul lesson that you wanted to learn, and then you will leave it behind. Like it could be a different job, could be a different dynamic in your relationships. It could be a different dynamic with your parents, whatever it is going to work itself out. It's just saying like, there's no shortcuts here. Your soul wants to learn this emotional sensitivity lesson, and that's when this cycle is really done with. This I don't know, I just get that I think you've been in this for a long time in your life. So yeah, I want you to hear me when I say it is going to end once you learn it. And how you learn it is by going within and asking the heart, learning how to ask your heart what it needs, how it's feeling, what it wants from you. That is the way through this. Yeah, and then everything all of a sudden that you feel like stuck or like in a bad situation with will just like that clear up. I feel you might even totally change your whole belief on this job too. Like whatever it is, sorry, it's just like I said, the dominant energy is that it could be career based or work based. I feel like if that is the case for you, you might even end up loving the job after this. And it's so funny because it's like just doing a little emotional work, all of a sudden you realize it had nothing to do with the job. It was just like an emotional, an emotion that was not being dealt with, that was starting to like create chaos for you. And it was triggered by career or triggered by a certain relationship. So I don't know, you'll have to do some digging there, but I really do think that some of you are going to still stay in the same job and actually love it. And then other ones of you, you've asked for a different thing to come in, and it will once you've figured this out. Because if you don't learn this lesson and you go into this new job, you're still going to like feel that same way about that job. And you're still going to like, it's really having to shift what's going on within you, because the outside world is not going to change until you change on the inside. So I just want to read the back of this. It says, I am committed to gratitude in my life. This choice opens my perception to receive my good. This choice shows me the inner doorway through which abundance comes to me. My heart is connected to the universal love. Wow, so this card's very well suited for the laugh card. Really talks about getting into that gratitude state, and being in that gratitude state will allow you to be more open to the good, the gifts and the good that come in. And I think like that does even talk a lot about, like I was saying, these cards over here, which all say like great things coming your way, like wish heard, wish granted. That's like, yes. For some of you, could be around finances, about wanting a different financial situation. I think that's going to be coming in. I do think relationship, there'll be better harmony in relationships, more connection. I do see like a lot of things just getting better. But it's funny, when they show me each situation, they show me like an emotional charge. So it comes back to that emotion. And really learning how to hold space for it and not push it away. And then obviously the whole laugh thing. So much good can come from laughing. They often say like the real challenge that everyone should do is to laugh once a day. And if you think about it, there are some days where you don't laugh at all. There's probably multiple days that you go through without laughing once. And it's kind of a sad thing to point out. So they always say laugh, then that's just like it's really hard to be laughing if you're terrified. Sorry, my cat keeps making noises. Not sure if you'll be able to hear that or not. it's really hard to just have fun and laugh and let loose if you are stressed and thinking about all this like lower stuff. So they really are talking a lot about getting into like a happy, gratitude, joyful state, which I know is going to take some time, because this pilot seed, like, you just even need to figure out what is the root cause of this like lower emotions that you find yourself stuck in. So yeah, there's some things. You're on a journey. That's what I'll say. You're on a journey and you're going to figure it out. I do feel like that's for sure. Like, it really says you're on the path for success. You're going to get there. Don't worry. But right now it feels like you don't want to be there. You want to keep doing whatever is distracting you, but it's really calling on you to not do that, not get into the distractions. Okay, I think this is where we're going to leave this reading. Best of luck. You have beautiful things coming in, okay? So I know like part of that message wasn't like super fun to hear, because no one likes having to do work or being told they have like a soul lesson they're here to learn. But I really want you to realize that like everything is gonna come in that you're asking for. Like, it literally says like success, wish granted, you're on the right path, like you're heading in the right direction. Your angels are there. They're there guiding you. They're protecting you. They've got your back. And like I said, this March card, I don't know. I think this is saying like if you're having a block in whether it's career or relationship, it's really going to feel totally different by March. So if you're watching this as it comes out, I know it seems a little ways away, but think about how fast time goes by and how much we learn in short time. So I just think March you'll be a totally different person. Okay. All right. Best of luck. Best of luck. Honor and respect your deep sensitivities. As it says here, they are a gift. So good luck. Honor yourself and ask that heart of yours what it needs and what it wants.